All right. Hi, guys. This is our first video together, but I wanted to make a little video to just kind of briefly give you a rundown of what you'll be doing today and a little bit about tomorrow's assignment. Um, and I really was just kind of trying to avoid a textbook assignment or something boring because the assignment you'll do today and tomorrow I just love. I think it's so interesting. So it's been a while since I've been on Zoom, but I should. Okay, so this is our Google Classroom. And if you're watching this, I know we've had some new students add, but I think you're all in our classroom. If not, you can pause the video. Here is the code to Google Classroom if you need that. Other than that, if you move to classwork, they look gray because I scheduled them to be posted, in advance. But what you should see for under this week is two new things posted. So let's open the top one. Says your Swainson's Thrush data and map, and that's your assignment. So when you click on it, there's a little blurb right here. And actually, I'm going to read this out loud, actually. So it says, you are about to become a wildlife biologist for the class period. You've been given data on the banding and recovery locations of the Swainson's thrush, which is a little species of bird. Your job is to plot the banding records on a map and determine the thrush's migratory route based on the plot locations. You can look at mine provided for the wood thrush if you want to see an example, and I'll also pull that up. You're to mark a colored dot according to the location and time of year. You'll be using Cami to mark the dots. I suggest using Google Maps to help you determine the location of various plot locations. So, and then the last thing I posted here is the color code, just according to the time of year. So if the event, and you'll see what I mean, but you'll have a real data on these birds. If the event given happened in June or July, you're going to put a little red dot, and that's representing the breeding range. If it occurred in August through October, you'll use purple, which is like the southward migration. If it happened between November and March, you'll use blue, which is representing wintering grounds. And if it's April or May, it'll be pink, and that's representing the northward migration. Okay. So if you look at what I've attached, I don't know if you guys have used Cami. I used it quite a bit with my students last year when we were virtual, but there's a guide. I didn't know if it'd be helpful. It offered it. So this first thing, the student's guide to Cami, is only if you're confused by Cami. And then my assignment is the PDF. So if you open it up, it should look like this. So it says the Swainson's Thrush banding record data sheet. And again, this is real data on Swainson's thrushes, which is a little bird. And you can see the first data point says Swainson's thrush was banded in Northwest California in June. So that means that a Swainson's thrush was present in Northwest California in June. So you will look up the color code for June, and you'll make a little dot in Northwest California. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just in the rough vicinity. Now I'll tell you, as I mentioned earlier, you can use Google Maps if you need, because I did not know all of these places. I mean, I honestly even looked up Colorado because I was like, where exactly would it be? So, because if you look at point 2, it says Swainson's thrush was banded in central Colorado in July. So again, you'll look up July, or remember July is a specific color, and then put a dot around where central Colorado would be. It also says another one was found dead in Peru by an indigenous person in the tropical forest in January. So it was also present in Peru in January. So that's another data point. So basically, you'll go through this little list and you'll just make a whole bunch of dots representing the location and the time of year based on the color. Okay. This is your assignment for today. So for day 1, all you're going to do is make dots using the data. I also think it's interesting because in some of the data, it'll tell you some of the difficulties that these little songbirds are feeling, while they're doing these huge migratory treks. So if you scroll down, you're going to do all of these, and you should be able in Cami, if it helps you. Some students in the past using Cami made like a little mark through the number. If it's helpful to scratch them off as you've made the dots on your map. The second page, this is where you'll make your little dots. So here is a blank map. I tried to help you out. If you can kind of see the colors, I tried to help you out even by writing the months, like the month range in the color. So June and July is red, November, March is blue, and so on. And once you have all of the data points entered on your map, then you're done. Submit it, and you'll get points for doing that for today. However, I'm going to go back to Google Classroom. And I also posted my wood thrush migration. So the Swainson's thrush and the wood thrush are just two different species of bird. And if you open up my PDF, you can see my little dots. And again, I had done this with colored pencils in person, but you can see the different coloration and, representing their seasonal movement. You don't need to do anything with my map today. All I want you to focus on but I just wanted you to have an example. All I want you to focus on is your Swainson's thrush data and the map. And again, make sure you turn it in on Google Classroom so that I can give you credit for doing that. Tomorrow's assignment, actually, why don't I go ahead and pull it up? Tomorrow's assignment will look something like this. And day one is what we're doing today. So I'm going to skip through this. You won't have to do that Tuesday. And then day two says you should have already mapped the Swainson's thrush. That's what you did. And I mapped the wood thrush. Use the two maps to compare these different species migration patterns. And it should be really easy. You should look at your little dots and my little dots and answer some questions. And it should all just make sense. Nothing really tricky. It's not meant to be hard. Yeah, so that is today and tomorrow. And please email me. I'm really trying to stay, trying to respond to emails as I can. So anyways, I hope that you enjoy a day with thrushes, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, see ya.